Thanks so much for joining us today. God wants to do so much for you and through you, and we'd love to hear about it. Take a moment to send your story to stories@parkerhill.org. And if you'd like to partner with us financially, you can do that by going to parkerhill.org/give and choose the giving option that works best for you. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoy today's message.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dan. I'm one of the pastors here at Parker Hill. And right off the bat, let me just commend you for starting off 2019 on the right foot. You're here, you showed up, you're looking to investigate or invest in spiritual things, and I'm excited for you. Yes, you, whether you're joining us online or at one of our campuses by way of video in Dixon City, Wilkes-Barre, or Clark Summit, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you because you just being here, or you just listening to this right now, tells me a couple things. And the first thing it tells me is that God is at work in your life. And the second thing it tells me is that you are responding to him just by showing up. And because you have responded to him this year, 2019, can be one of your best years ever. And if you have a little cynic inside of you like I do, you might be wondering right now, what is that guy talking about? Right? You might be rolling your eyes and saying, why is he hyping this whole thing up? He doesn't know what my last year was like, and he doesn't know what my next year is going to be like. How can he even say that? And to be honest with you, I'm not the hype guy. I'm the realist. And here's the truth. 2019 does not have to be like 2018. This year can be different. How do I know that? Because it happens for people every year. You know that every year people lose weight and they keep it off? Every year there are people who get out of debt. Every year there are people who kick a bad habit or heal an old wound or start leaning into healthy relationships and getting away from the toxic ones. Every year, millions of people grow and they change. That's the beauty of having another year stretching out in front of you. And change for you. It's not a lottery. It's not random. It's not just something that happens to you. There's a way that life works. And the way that life works is the way of wisdom. See, we live in a world that's drowning in information, but it's desperate and starving for wisdom. Information we have plenty of, that's the data, but wisdom is that way of finding our way through it. It's discernment. Information is what, but wisdom is what to do with all of it. Wisdom is discerning the best next step. So what wisdom does is it looks at our complicated and complex and confusing lives and pierces right through the tangle of all of that to give us an answer. Wisdom says, here's what you do next. And that's what this series is all about, StreetSmarts, the common sense that isn't so common anymore. The practical, everyday, real answers for how to navigate life. And last week, Mark unpacked this really profound principle for life when he taught us that your decisions determine your destination. Your decisions determine your destination. Your decisions, not your emotions, not what you dream about, not what you talk about the most. No, it's what you do on a regular basis that determines where you end up in life. And today I want to convince you to make one really big, important decision that could change your life. See, according to one study, 40 to 45% of American adults make New Year's resolutions every year. Resolutions to lose weight or to find love or to get rid of a debt or to learn a new skill. But only 80% of those resolutions are broken by February. And only 9% keep the resolutions overall. Why do so few people keep their resolutions? They look out at a new year and they're like, this is exciting. It's an open calendar. Anything could happen this year. This year could be different than last year. And they start to make some resolutions. You've made some resolutions and you say, this year is gonna be different. 40, 45% do that. 80% break it before February. 9% keep the resolutions. You wanna know my professional opinion about why this is happening this way? Because life is stinking hard, isn't it? It's not easy to change. The second you take one step out towards change, you will experience resistance. You try to get out of debt and then everything starts breaking on you and the bills start piling up. Or you want to lose weight, but someone just keeps coming into your office kitchen and just dropping off all your favorite snacks and leaving them there for you. That's personal experience. That's happened to me. All right, you want to learn a new skill, and you go into work, and you're there, but you're hoping in your after hours you're going to be able to accomplish something new, learn something new, but some people get laid off at work. You're not one of them, but you get all of their work. And then when you come home at night, you're exhausted. There's no way you're picking up something new. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. The resistance is real. Sometimes the resistance feels like this strong wind pushing us back every time you try to make a step forward, and it's a struggle. This week I learned something really fascinating about cycling groups. You see, smart cycling groups, they ride in what's called a pace line. And here's what they do. They have someone out front leading the line, and the leader is the one who sets the pace. It's not too fast and not too slow, and they call out obstacles, and they give direction. And then close behind them is a string of other riders. The leader takes the full blast of the headwind, but because of aerodynamics, no one else in the line does. The people behind the leader expend around or up to 30% less energy. Even the leader himself feels a little bit of a boost from being in the line. And because they're drafting like this, because everywhere they go, they're so closely connected, they go further, faster, and it's a lot easier. But to gain all of those benefits, you have to stay close. Eventually, the leader shifts out and will go back to the tail of the line, and someone else will take over leading for a little bit, and so the group rotates at regular intervals. That's smart riding. And here's the point. Riding together makes winning the race easier. Or in other words, it's better to ride together. And this isn't just true in cycling, this is true in life. When we ride together, it makes winning the race easier. It's better to ride together. That's how you beat the resistance. Proverbs 13:20 says this, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." See, it matters who your friends are. It matters who you ride with. Ride with the wise, become wise. Ride with the fools, and take a fall. And so my goal here today is very simple. I want to convince you to ride with a group in 2019. Not on a bike, but in life. So that this year is the year that you beat the resistance and become more of who God is calling you to be. So with that in mind, we're going to talk about 4 reasons why riding together is better. And we're going to be looking at a part of the Bible called Proverbs. And the book of Proverbs is a collection of wise sayings compiled to give people like you and me insight into how life works. And so to understand what a proverb is, you don't really need to stretch very far, do you? Because you heard them growing up, and you probably say some of them now, things like the early bird gets the worm, or 2 wrongs don't make a right, or fortune favors the bold. Those are proverbs. And a proverb is packed with powerful insight, just waiting for the curious to crack it open. And so that's what we're going to do together as we look at 4 main proverbs that help us understand how to beat the headwinds of life together. So the first reason that you should ride in a group this year is found in Proverbs 15:22, where it says this, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed." See, good friends give good counsel. And we need good counsel. Like I said, we live in a world where we're drowning in information, but we're starving for wisdom. Another Proverb 14:12 says like this, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death." Which means that as you look out over the options of your life and what you can do next, there are things you are going to see that look appealing. There's paths that you could take that look promising, but in the end, they lead to pain. Notice what the verse says. It says, plans fail for lack of counsel. Plans fail. It doesn't say we fail because we didn't plan. This is an important insight. It says we fail because we don't include the right people in our plans. If you've ever said the following sentence, you know what I'm talking about. It seemed like a good idea at the time. It seemed like a good idea at the time, like this dog. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Sorry, buddy, you don't fit. Or how about with this kid? It seemed like a good idea at the time. Or this teenager, this is gonna be an awesome picture. Nope, got stuck. Or how about this guy? Seemed like a good idea at the time. Or these guys. There's actually someone standing up on that ladder over there, all right? You know, believe it or not, it wasn't hard to find pictures of guys doing dumb things with ladders. That was actually really easy. Don't know why that is. They all had a plan, but not all plans are good plans. And this proverb is saying that plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. See, there are people who can direct you, but they are usually not people just like you. There are people who know you, but they also know a little bit more about the world, about life. Maybe they've already made some of those mistakes. People who can give you good advice, but you have to want it. You have to welcome it. You have to cultivate the relationships with people that will give it. You say, yes, yeah, I want to marry him, but is that a good idea? Or yeah, I want to switch careers, but what's the best way to do it? Or it might be a stretch to buy that thing, so is now the right time? Why? Why take all the headwind of those difficult decisions on yourself? Why not get ahead by riding with others? So, get good friends, because good friends give you good counsel. And with many advisors, plans succeed. That's the first thing. Number two, good friends impart good character. I want you to look at Proverbs 22, 24, 25. It says this: do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered. Right? What? Well, why not? Why not make friends with a hothead? Why? Because they might lash out at you? Because it might be emotionally damaging to you? Maybe they're going to get you into trouble? Actually, this is the reason. You may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. See, their character becomes your character. If they're arrogant, you become arrogant. If they're shallow, you become shallow. If they like to gossip, then you will too. See, their character becomes your character. If they're the kind of people that put God first in their life, then you start doing that too. And if they're the courageous type of people, then you pick up on that as well. And if they listen to God and try to follow after him, then you'll start to do that too, because their character becomes your character. And the point isn't to avoid anyone with flaws, because we all have them. The point is to be honest with yourself. There are people in your life who bring out the worst in you. And there are people in your life who bring out the best in you. Who are your friends? See, good people impart good character. It's not really something we pick up on purpose. It just happens. We tend to imitate the people that we're around the most. Researchers call this phenomenon unconscious mimicry. So we can copy people's tone or cadence, or maybe you're hanging out with people who are watching certain shows and you pick up their accent, right? We tend to imitate the people that we hang around the most. Over time, their character shapes our character. And the older you get, the more you realize that what you truly want and need is not success or praise. It's character. Your character matters. As one pastor put it, the only ceiling on your life that will limit what God can do in you is the ceiling of your character. If you'll build your character, there is no limit to how high God will build your life. See, it's better to ride together, because good friends give good counsel, and good friends impart good character. And number three is found in Proverbs 27:6, where it says this: wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Notice there's a contrast. There's people who will flatter you. That's the imagery of multiplying kisses. And there's others who will correct you. That's the idea of those who will wound you. But notice which is which. Friends will correct you, and enemies will flatter you. And our gut reaction to someone calling us out is to assume the opposite, isn't it? We assume the person that's correcting us is our enemy. We don't like to be told that we're wrong or that we could have done it better, but faithful are the wounds of a friend. So like a doctor doing surgery, friends will wound you so that you could be healed, because good friends offer good correction. And so I need your help to make a point about correction here. So on the count of 3, I want you to shout out something that I'm terrible at. It could be my wardrobe, it could be my PowerPoint, it could be my illustrations, it could be how fast I talk, which might be annoying to you, right? So on the count of 3, you're gonna, no, we're not gonna do that, we're not gonna do that. That's not the kind of correction that we're talking about here. But here's what we are gonna do, and I want you to play along. Because on the count of 3, I want you to look straight forward from your seat, and I want you to raise your hand in front of your face somewhere, and I want you to flash some numbers. You get to choose how many. You just flash some numbers, okay? So you're gonna look straight ahead, flash some random numbers, and then put your hand down. On the count of 3, are you guys all ready to do this with me? Everywhere, every location. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, good job. Okay, stay with me now. I'm gonna count to 3 one more time, and at every campus and online, I want you to confidently say the number that you just lifted up in front of your face. So confidently now, with some, gusto, all right? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Yes, you guys are brilliant. You aced the test. Way to be amazing. Okay, just one more thing, just one more. You're doing awesome. One more thing. And when I say go, I want you to confidently say the number that the person behind you put up. All right? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Well, that was awkward. Now, one of two things just happened. Either you didn't know the number of the person behind you because the number of the person behind you was, behind you in your blind spot. Or you did know the number because you listened through all the noise earlier to hear what was going on in your blind spot. Did you know that you have blind spots in your character and behavior? And just like the people behind you know what number they flashed in your blind spot, the people in your life can also see in your blind spot. And they know you have an anger issue, and they know you tend to manipulate others, and they know that your pride can get the better of you, and they know that you tend to wallow in self-pity. They know that you're really good at making excuses. And if you really want to change any of that, you have to listen through the noise to your good friends. Because good friends will say something. They'll choose their words carefully, they'll pick a good time, but a good friend will offer correction. And sparks may fly. Proverbs 27:17 warns us. It says, as iron sharpens iron, which is what? Shink, shink, shink. So one person sharpens another. How does iron sharpen iron? With friction, which means that's how we help each other grow. We'll say some things that the other person doesn't want to hear. We should say them with love. We should say them tactfully. We should pick the timing, but we will say them if we love them. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And that's how we help each other grow. And in the end, if you'll listen to your friend, you will be better for it. Proverbs 15:31 says this, whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. That's because you become who you befriend. And there's some of you who went down a path in your past that you regret today. And you did it after someone tried to correct you, and you didn't like what you were hearing. And so you surrounded yourself with people who wouldn't challenge your plans, because that's what we do. Proverbs 15:12 says this, mockers resent correction, so they avoid the wise. And you made a decision one day against the advice of people who cared about you. And I don't bring that up to hurt you. I bring it up because I know that if you had the chance to stand up here right now and say something about this, you would say, listen to the people who love you. Listen to the people who care. Yeah, there's going to be people in your life who will call you out. You know they love you, right? And when they call you out, they are calling you up into the life that you could have if you will walk with wisdom. So good friends, they give good counsel. Good friends impart good character. Good friends offer good correction. Lastly, good friends wage good combat. Proverbs 17:17 says it this way: a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. See, the writer's making a parallel statement here, saying that there are friends that are like brothers. There's friends that are as close as you can have, a close relative. And a friend like that has your back. Not everyone will do that. Proverbs 29:24 tells it like it is, where it says this: one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. There will be some people who will bail on you in life, but real friends stick close to you, especially when things get difficult. And I get it. I know you would love to wake up every day to a view like this. Wow. Just give me a second. Especially this time of year, beach resort. Like, we'd all love to wake up to this every day. Like, this is paradise right here. This is wonderful, beautiful. Everything that you want is like a room service call away. And everything you don't want is like thousands and thousands of miles away. And that's how we would all like to live. But life is more like this, isn't it? Life's a struggle. It's more of a battlefield. On a beach, you need buddies to play volleyball with. But on a battlefield, you need allies to fight with. On a beach, friends are optional. But on a battlefield, they are vital. Life is a battlefield. We are at war. In 1 Peter 5:8, it says this: be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. This verse always reminds me of this picture. We have an enemy, and he is on the hunt, and he wants to take you out. And with an enemy like that, you need allies who have your back. Those are the kind of people that you share your struggles with, and they're not shocked. They just say, okay, what can we do to help? These are the kind of people that will pray for you, like really. These are the kind of people that will check in on you. These are real allies. I don't know how many times I have sent a text to a small group of friends asking for prayer that I desperately needed in the moment because I have an enemy. You need people in your life like that. See, it's better to ride together because good friends give good counsel, and good friends impart good character, and good friends offer good correction, and good friends wage good combat. But let's be honest, finding friends like that is really hard. Actually, I think it's almost impossible. And here's why. You don't find friends like this. You build friendships like this. My wife taught me something really important. You go through school growing up, and you're in the same boat with the other people that are in the same class. Same experiences, same stage of life. You're around each other all the time, and so you build some friendships out of that. Then you go up into high school, same kind of thing can happen. Then you get into a career, and you're rubbing shoulders with people every day, or you launch out into college or something like that, and the same thing happens. It's almost like your life circumstances does the investing for you. It sets up the relationship for you. But at some point in your life, that's not happening anymore. You're not in school, or the people at work are not the ones that you should be the closest with. And you're looking for these kind of friendships, and you're saying, why is it so hard to find friends now? You're looking for the people that you'll click with, that you'll connect with, the kind of people that share your interests and outlook and will challenge you and help you and all those kind of things. You're looking for those people, your people. And my wife had to teach me, quite honestly, that it takes an investment to build these kind of relationships. I just wanted it to click. But she taught me to invest, which means at least three things: that you have to put yourself in places with good people. You have to put yourself in situations where you can make connections with good people, which is harder than it seems. because we live in an age of endless doing and distraction. I kind of wonder sometimes if we even know how to hang out anymore, right? We're rushing from thing to thing to thing. And in the gaps in between, we're trying to get stuff done or we're getting distracted by our phone. Situations where you used to sit and just, you didn't have anything else to do, so you would strike up a conversation. Those are almost non-existent. You have to choose this. It won't just happen. You have to put yourself in situations where you can make connections with good people. And I get it. Like my wife and I wanted to hang out with a couple other couples, and to arrange that whole thing, we had to go back and forth 100 gazillion times about our calendars until we found a spot that was open. I get it. We're busy, but it's not just gonna happen accidentally. We have to choose it. You cannot have friendships like this that I'm describing to you now without time together. I know, I can't believe that I just had to say that, but I do. Because we live in virtual isolation. Staring at screens for work and for entertainment, we walk down sidewalks with earbuds in our ears, we interact with devices instead of face-to-face. And none of that's wrong. I hope you use technology. None of that's wrong, but when you add it all up, you know what that means? It means we are masters at creating acquaintances, but not at building allies. And you don't need a lot of allies. You don't. I have one or two or three in your life, really. Because one ally is worth 1,000 acquaintances. So first, you got to put yourself in places with good people. And the second thing is that you have to be the friend that you want to have. See, this is the thing about building a friendship. You have to make an investment, which means, and listen to me now, you have to pay before you know if it will pay off. That's just the way it works. This is a lesson my wife taught me, that I wanted to find friends, but she showed me how to build them, and it costs something. And you'll have to pay just to see if there's potential there for an ally. That's how it works. You got to invest in that relationship. You have to be the kind of friend that you want to have. So that means you check on them instead of complaining about how nobody asks about how your life is going and checks on you. That's you inviting them to go do something and not just saying, why didn't they invite me to go? That's you offering to help, even though your offer might be rejected. You invest, you put yourself out there a little bit. See, second, you gotta be the kind of friend that you want to have. And third, you have to be real. To have good friends, you have to take that risk of being real. And for some of you, that's totally terrifying. Right, being honest about what's going on underneath the surface. And for you, it might be hard to open up about anything. For some of you, it's too easy. You open up about everything. Like when the server at the restaurant asked how your day was going, you told them about your whole life, all right? So for some of you, it scares you. For some of you, it doesn't scare you at all. But no matter how much it scares you, at some point, you have to let someone in. You have to be open and honest. In a world where we are used to putting filters on everything, and posting it at a distance so that people would like us out there, I want to encourage you to stop pretending everything is fine and that nothing bothers you, and open up a little bit. Let some good people in. Be real. And honestly, that's one of the things I love about this place. You can be real here. You don't have to fake it. So to wrap up our time together, I want to talk to you about three groups of people. And the first of the group of people that leads our groups here. You're the folks that sacrifice your time and your energy and your insight and your love. You pray for your group. You care for them. You laugh and you'll cry with them. You'll help them move from one home to another. You'll help them take out that dryer that broke down and put in the new one. You're just showing up and you're loving big, and you are our group leaders. And you create spaces where people can have the kind of relationships that we're talking about today. And what you're doing is changing lives. And I think our group leaders are the unsung heroes around here at Parker Hill. And so I think we just need to show our appreciation for our group leaders. Let's do that together. Thank you for serving. Thank you. The second group of people I want to talk to are those of you who are already You're in a group, you're bought in, you're investing in those relationships, you're doing it. And I just want to encourage you to lean in as we launch this week and the next couple of weeks, our next trimester. This is your opportunity to build those relationships, to have the kind of friendships I'm talking about. And it's gonna take you showing up and being real, being a little open, and being there for other people. It's gonna take you investing, even though it might not pay off right away, because you gotta build those relationships. So let me encourage you to make the most out of your times together. Now, the third group of people, of course, are those of you who are not yet in a group. And as you listen to me talk, you're wrestling a little bit inside. You can't deny that it's better to ride together, but you might be saying, well, like I already have people in my life. I'm good, and that's great. But let me just ask you 3 questions to make sure that the people in your life are the kind of people I'm encouraging you to have in your life today. And the first question is this: when was the last time you had someone who was not family into your home? Second question: aside from someone you're married or someone you're married to or dating, who really knows what's going on in your life? Like, really? Question 3: when was the last time you had a spiritual conversation that affected how you live? If you got all that covered, you got it covered. Maybe you have those relationships. Maybe you don't have those kind of relationships. And so for all of us, there was a connection card on your seat when you came in today. Go ahead and grab that and the pen that's attached to it. Go ahead and everyone grab that. Grab that connection card. And when you flip it open, you're gonna notice that there's a bunch of group options available to you. This is for everyone. This is for everyone. I want you to look at this. Grab that now. And there's these group options that are launching like next week and in the coming weeks that are available to you. These are the places, these are the environments where you can meet good people and build some great relationships with them. So you can go ahead and start filling out that card right now. You could flip it to the far inside and then you can put some of your info there. Then you can flip it back and look at some of the group options available to you. Let me just say, you're gonna have an opportunity to fill this out right now and turn it in today. And that when you turn it in, you're gonna be signing up to attend that group. This is your registration. So you don't have to like, oh, I forgot to do that. I was gonna do that. How about we just settle it now? You'll sign up today. And so I want you to look at some of those options, start filling it out. And as you do, let me go over some of them with you. See, the first option you're gonna see on there is what we call community groups. And those are the groups that meet in homes in our community, and they meet every week or every other week. And they have all kinds of different group dynamics, different ages and stages and mixes of people. And so if you mark that one, we'll help you connect to the right group, one that you can get to in your area that's a good fit for you. Those are our community groups. Then there are our men's and women's groups. And there's a group at each campus for each one. So you can select the campus and time that works for you if this is the best choice. And you'll notice that we have groups based on your phase and stage of life on the other side. And so maybe that's where you're gonna find some meaningful connection. So go ahead, look at these, look at some of these dates, look at some of these times. See which one would work for you. Lastly, you're gonna see a marriage group option. And if you're married or soon to be married, this group is a great choice. I mean, what couple doesn't need to spend some focused time growing together? You'll notice different days and times that this group will meet on the screen at your campus. And all these groups meet within our trimester schedule, which means there's a start date and there is an end date. You're not signing up for life here. What you're doing is saying 6, 8, 10 weeks, I can commit to that, to invest in relationships, to build the kind of relationships you're talking about. For example, this married group is just 6 weeks, 6 weeks. You can't beat that. 6 weeks to make your marriage stronger. So find the group option that works for you, finish filling out that card, and you can drop it in the bucket here in just a moment. It's better to ride together. And so let this year be the year you ride with others. I get it. Sometimes you join a group because you know you need those relationships. Other times you join a group because you want to help other people. But in the end, we are all better together. And so as you finish filling out that card, I want you to listen and watch this with me.
I'll tell you what, group was one of the best things that ever happened to us in our life.
I think within a month or two of starting Parker Hill, we also started hosting small groups.
We have a great small group, and we've stayed very close.
We did it to give, but we're getting more out of the experience than we're giving.
That's your community. That's the people you're going to be, looking for help with or looking to help when they need it.
They're like family to us now. I mean, and there always will be. Yeah. And then we split off and created another group.
We thought that maybe we were too old for the group when we first went because we were, we probably have 20 years on most of the.
Oh, I think
or 30.
I think a few more than 20. Hopefully, us telling our stories about all the things that we've been through and how we've handled it may help them.
We had evolved over the course of those 2 years, just learning a bit more. So we were able to share that with the newer people that were coming in and had never been in groups before.
It's funny because on Wednesday nights, our kids are bummed if we don't have small group, which is pretty cool. They look for it and they said, hey, Wednesday we can't do anything, we got small group.
It's been really, really cool to just, be there for each other and know that there's other people out there like you that just want the same things.
We don't always stick to the script. Sometimes we'll drift off, and but we're always using the Bible or we're using some kind of biblical knowledge to help each other. Before I started going to church and having an intimate relationship with God, before that I would never talk about that kind of stuff. And now it's part of my regular conversation.
It sounds simple, but it really, all of us say the same thing. You just feel refreshed and renewed like halfway through the week to do that, and it feels off if we cancel for a week.
It's been a good learning experience for us too. It's a win-win.
I could have never seen myself doing that 5 years ago. Being in a group, talking about Jesus Christ and trying to help everybody solve their problems and just live better lives. It was awesome.